Hallelujah. All right. So sorry about that, everyone. Let's quickly, start again. So I'm saying that we are starting this task again. It's road accident task, which we have done before in Excel. We saw the dashboard that we built within Excel on it earlier. But we are going to be doing this, repeating the same thing, but now in Power BI. And we said the first part of our job as data analyst is to understand what's the reason for needing this dashboard. What business question are we trying to answer by going on this project? Okay, what does the business need it for? So that's what we are going to try and understand. We are also going to try and understand the data that we've been given. Just so we get it. Sorry, just moving around. Right, so let's have a look at the information we've been given. If we first from a place of understanding, then also from a place of, do we have everything that we need? So those are the reasons, for the time that we are going to be spending, on this project from this time going. Okay. So we have the database. There's two tabs. The database, which is where the data sets sits. And we have the other tab called requirement, where the business question has been put. And a bit of insight has been given here. It says task overview. So it says this project is aimed at analyzing traffic accident data and identifying trends and insights related to casualties. So the project will leverage several key performance indicators to measure the severity and impact of traffic accidents, including the total number of casualties by accident severity, by vehicle type, by road type, and a few other factors within the data. So business case. The business case for this task is to help transportation authorities, as well as law enforcement agencies and other stakeholders, improve traffic safety and reduce the number of casualties caused by accidents. By analyzing accident data and identifying trends and patterns, these stakeholders can implement targeted interventions to improve road safety and reduce the risk of the accident. So we can see the reason for needing this dashboard or report right within the business case, okay? We are aiming at bringing down fatality rates within traffic or transportation sector, okay? So the goal of this task is to analyze traffic accident data and identify key trends and insights related to the casualties. By doing so, the project aims to inform policy and decision-making related to road safety and ultimately help reduce the number of casualties caused by accidents. So we get a bit of the gist as to what we are trying to use this dashboard for. We want to aim at bringing down the rate of accidents. We want to look into what's causing it, what can we bring in to mitigate those factors that are causing the accidents. Let's see how much the factors we talk about actually really affect. So the severity, we'll look at that. So it goes on to look at some KPIs. We have primary KPIs as well as secondary ones. And he's saying that the primary KPIs will be total casualties and percentage of total with respect to accident severity, and maximum casualties by type of vehicle. Okay, so we look at the total casualties. We look at what percentage of that total, or the percentage of total with severe to with respect to severity. So what aspect is really, what percentage of the total is medium severity or low severity or high severity, something like that. Okay, so we can categorize the total into the different division or ratio of the severity. And we can also look at the maximum casualties by vehicle type. So this same total casualty, will divide it into different severity group. We will also divide it into different vehicle types. Okay, that's what our primary KPI would show. The secondary KPI will show us total casualties, the same total that we have from the primary KPI. It will show us with respect to vehicle types. That's a repetition from the above here. Monthly trend, showing comparison of casualties for current year and previous year. Okay, so we have maybe a column chart that shows us previous year on a monthly level and current year. So we can compare between this year and last year, August. Okay, what's the comparison? Is it, have we gone higher or have we gone lower in terms of number of casualties? Then we will see maximum casualty by road type. So what this information on this page affords us is, we then look into our data that we've been given. Do we have all this information, road type, severity type, where do we have the column that shows us where we have casualty numbers so that we can do this counting? Okay, is there one that shows us different vehicle types? So these are the road surface type as well as in relation to area. So do we have column with area, location, and do we have something that shows us whether the accident happened at day or at night? Okay, so we'll go into our database and look at each column. Okay, as much as we have an idea what this data should be about, then we look at the database and see, okay, we have the accident index, that is just like your ID now. So each accident would have a unique ID. So this column, we shouldn't have any duplicate in it, okay? And we'll come back to that. Good for us that we are loading this into Power BI, so I won't bother to check for duplicates here. We can deal with that when we get into Power BI. Then we have the accident date, which is a good one, okay? Because now we have the dates that we can use for the question that says that we'll have monthly trend, this one here. So there's a date, that would help us with that. I think because we did this first in Excel, then these columns, this year, month, we had to extract year, month, but we won't be needing to, we won't be needing to do that with Power BI. But in Excel, there was need for us to do these two. So these two were not in the original data set. I'll try and see if I have the original data set that has not been tampered with. And I'll send that to us. I'll try and see if that's the one I want to load as well. Okay, then we actually look for the day of the week as well. Then junction control. Okay, so there is a column that says junction control. And if we look into it, it's giving us what kind of control has been put at the said junction. Okay, is it okay? We have authorized persons. Maybe in the case of Nigeria, we have police guys at different junctions to check. This says auto traffic signal. So that would be the normal signal that we know. So I see auto traffic SIGL, and I see auto traffic that, okay? So this is where we go back and check. That would be a data quality issue, I believe. This is meant to be auto traffic signal as well. So we are noting the data quality work that we'll need to do when we get into Power BI. Data missing or out of range. So where there is no record of what junction control has been put in place in that place, I think that's what that would stand for. Give way or uncontrolled, not at junction or within 20 meters, and then stop sign. So we see the different junction control within this data set. Then we go into junction details. So the type of junction where the accident has happened. And we can see already, if we look through, crossroads, mini roundabouts, more than 4 arms, not at junction or within 20 meters, other junction, private drive or entrance, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's T or staggered junction. That's giving us details of the junction. Okay, then we have severity. Let's not forget that in the requirements, there's something to do with severity. We need to look at total number of casualties by the severity type. Okay, we divide into percentage. Okay, so if we go in there, we can see just 3 divisions there. We have fatal, serious, and slight. Okay, so thank God we have that. That is noted. Latitude just gives us further location detail, of which would be good for map, if we have longitude as well. Yeah, we do. That would be a good one for map visual. Okay, so let's see what we can do with that. And light conditions. So how much of daylight or darkness or night conditions happening. That's what this is about. I believe we have a question, as well. Yeah, the last one says we should find the relationship between casualties by area, location, and by day or night. Okay, so we'll see how that works. Then we then have the actual local authority, okay? The names of the different local authorities where these accidents have happened. Okay, they are UK boroughs. Okay, so that's a good one. Then we have carriageway hazards. Okay, whatever carriageway hazard stands for is any animal in carriageway. Okay, just like you would have when you do your hazard perception, when you do your driving practical. So the sort of hazards that could be on the road at that time or that caused the accident. Okay, so that's what that would be about. Now yes, this is where we are going. Number of casualties, okay? So total number of people that were involved in each accident. We see row 2 that involved 11 people. That's quite a massive number. And then we go down to maybe row 7. There's 3 number of people there. And if we go into KPIs, we are going to be needing total casualties. Okay, so that's a very important part of the work, that we are going to be needing. If we look down rather, let's see. So we have even more than 11. We have accidents that's involved up to 48 casualties. That's massive. Okay. Then we have number of vehicles that are involved in the accident. Okay. Wow. So in some accidents, we have up to 32 vehicles involved. That's an interesting one. Okay. And then the police force that's involved, you know, we have the different, you know, police forces that actually recorded or that reported or that were called. Okay. And this is another important one, road surface condition. I think I saw something that's got to do with road surface. Yes, condition, road type. If it's the same thing, maximum casualties by road type. Okay, so, well, road type, I think is different from road condition. Okay, yeah, road surface condition. This is the one I was talking about. So, yeah, was it a dry road? Was it snowy? You know, these are just further information to give us insights into why the accidents could have happened and the road type as well. So this is quite a very well detailed database for us. So it's quite good that we've not found anything missing that we might need. Okay. Yeah, well, speed limits. Okay. Speed limits during where the accident happened. What's the speed limit on that road? Time in terms of the time of the day that this happened. Okay, is what we see there. And the type of place, the urban or rural, we see. Then weather condition, if there was wind, fog, okay, these are factors that could result in accidents as well. And then we have the vehicle type. We have the vehicle type, which is an interesting one for us because we do need it. I know there is something to do with vehicle type. I saw, yes, total casualty. So within our primary KPI, says maximum casualties by type of vehicle. So that maximum should be total casualties because that can be confusing. You know, for someone, you see total casualty, you see maximum casualty. They could mean different things, but I'm very sure it's talking about total in this case. So I'll change that so that we are not confused by it. Total casualties by vehicle type. So it would look like we have everything that we need, for this work. So I would say, is there anyone, before I just conclude just like that, please do let me indicate to me if you do not understand what we are about to do with this data, or with this report rather. The long and short of it is that we are trying to build from the reports that have been gathered by different police forces within the UK. We want to see insights into the road accidents that we have had within the time that's within this data set, so that we can see if there are policies or factors or measures we can put in place to reduce certain accidents that maybe shouldn't have happened if those factors had been in place in the first place. Okay, that's the purpose of this work. I need your permission for us to proceed, please. Shall we proceed, or should we go over this once again?
Let's go over it once again, please.
Okay. All right. So the project we're about to start is called Road Accident Task or Report. Okay. So, and we have a database which we have gone through. The database shows us details of different accidents from, let's see, from what time to what time. So if I sort that by the oldest, okay, so the oldest is first. So from the 1st of January 2021 to let's see, to the 31st of December 2022. That's the last date. So within 2 years, basically, you know, how do I remove sort here? No remove sort. Okay. So we have all this data gathered, okay? And we are saying that as a business that's got to do with road transport, we feel that there could be things we could do to reduce all these accidents that had happened within those 2 years. So we want to look at our data sets and find what, by these KPIs now, how many by total casualties, how many were very severe, how many were very quite fatal, how many were just minor, okay, within those 2 years, and how many were by, let's see the different vehicle types that we have in the data set. How many were by cars? How many were by van? You see, how many were by all these minibuses, motorcycles? Okay, how many people fall casualty by these vehicle types? We want to group them. Then we want to also look at them by road condition. Which one? How many casualties became casualties because it was when wet or damp road or dry road, you know, or snowy road, or frost or ice. You know, how many of us have fallen from black ice before? I have, okay. And also we look at them by road type. How many of these casualties happened in a single carriage or dual carriageway or within a one-way street, you see? So we want to see what this data set tells us about the trend. I see somewhere where it says by monthly, we want to look at this by monthly trend. We want to compare last year, that is 2021 to 2022, okay, because we have only those 2 years. So we compare between the 2 years and see if January 2021 was lower or more than January 2022. If so, what made them change? Whatever made them change, do we need to do more or less of that? Okay, the normal distance between cars, between the car in front of you and yourself when you're driving would normally be, is it 2 second? Is it 2 second, or I can't remember how many seconds rule, you know, that seconds you should count, you know, for you to know. I can't remember. Did that come out of my head? But yes. Okay, so if we discover that there's too many casualties, do we need to increase the distance by policy change, the distance between the car in front of you and yourself, you know, so that if there's more distance, we know chances of accidents is reduced, chances of you bumping into the car in front of you would reduce, because if they brake sharply or very quickly, you would have enough time to react accordingly and also brake without bumping into them. Okay, is there a need to change something like that? Okay, so those are the reasons, yes, insights we are trying to get from this data. Okay, basically we'll just plot all this with whatever visual we feel is going to show us the best is going to give the information the best way. Okay. But yes, that's what this report is about. Okay. And we have looked through each of the columns within the data set. We have seen that we have everything that we need. Okay. We have the ID, which is the accident index in this case. We have the dates, so we can look at trends to see which month had the highest casualties, which one had the lowest. Okay. We can also count the number of accidents that actually happened, you know, as well, apart from using casualty The number of accidents is also a KPI that can be used. Okay. We can look at things by local authority. Which local authority is having the highest casualty? Okay, what are they not doing right? And which has the lowest casualties, and what are they doing right? Or those are and yeah, accident severe. We've talked about accident severity. Okay, so if it's just slight severity of very fatal or serious, okay, we want to see which borough has the most of the fatal and the most of the serious. We don't normally look too much into the slight severity that much, because that's not too severe. Not that they are not important, but they are not too severe. But yes, that's what this project is going to be about. Does that make it a little clearer?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay. So we'll just go on to, we've got a few minutes remaining. We'll just go on to load these into our Power BI. And then we'll see where that takes us. Okay. So if I open my Power BI, I'm hoping that I would load the one that's not been worked on at all, actually. Fingers crossed. So I'm going to open a blank report. Again, let me implore us to try and follow this particular project well, with the aim of practicing yours, getting yours, like today we're about to load. Whatever we do today, by tomorrow or tonight, try and get it done at least up to that stage as well. Okay. Because like I always say, it's not enough for us to just do it in class. Until each person goes into their individual spaces and try to make sense of it by practicing and getting our hands dirty, then it wouldn't make any difference to us. Okay. So there would at the end of the project, probably within a week, we should finish. We should be able to show the work we've done, each one of us. That's the aim. The overall aim of this is, for me, is to see everyone show their work. And for the aim for each one of us is to actually be able to build a functional dashboard from this project. Okay. So if from your side and from my side, where we are able to achieve that, then we will say this project has been successful. Okay. So we open a blank Power BI desktop, sorry. Okay. And then we go on to load. I think it's an Excel file. Okay. That's not the only way to open an Excel. I clicked Excel straight away because I believe it's an Excel. So you can do that. Okay. You can decide if it's a SQL server, you can just click on this straight on. If you are trying to create the table manually here yourself by just entering data manually, you can click on the create table, and type into that. Okay. So, or if you can't find any of your data source on here, you can get into the get data drop down and look at more. There's quite a lot of data sources that we can use. Okay. But ours is Excel workbook, and there's more here telling you that the list is not ending there. There's quite a long list of data sources within Power BI, which is one of the reasons why the Power BI is quite versatile, used by many organizations. Okay, so I'm clicking on Excel workbook, and I want to connect into I'm just going to type on here road accident. Let's see the options that it brings. Road accident. Okay. Road accident data. Okay, I think this would be a really fresh one because it's from July last year, or the one with the dashboard. It could be. Yes, it's the one with the dashboard. I was hoping I'll get another version, but it is what it is. We can just use it like that. I hope I don't have it open. I do. That's why it's taking so long. Let me do that again. I've got that open. Normally I should close it, but let's see within the 3 minutes if I can get one before 15:07, 11:07. This one. Okay. Looks like this one hasn't got a dashboard, so we should be fine. Okay. So I click on to check what you are loading, just to make sure it is what it should be. You can just click on the side of the table and look, and we can see this looks like the data set that we were looking at just now. Okay. Now, one is, so we've got two versions of it. They are both the same. One is in the form of a table already, and the other one's not in the form of a table. You can load any one of them. I don't see any much difference. So I'll just pick one. If you pick this, you are not mistaken, by the way. And for reasons of us being able to access our work and see what we should be doing, I'll load this as well. Like I said, I'm just loading this just for the purpose of us being able to look at our task and work with it. Okay. So now I've checked the tables that I need to come along. Then we have these three wise men at the bottom here. Okay. One says load. Now, if you are sure that your data is clean, you don't need any extra work to do on it. It doesn't have any duplicates or anything like that, then you can go on and load it. Okay. But if you feel like you still need to clean it, check it, make sure it's fine, not too sure what data quality issue is in there, then you will click on transform data. And if you feel like, oh, I don't think I want to do this anymore, you can cancel it. That is, you just cancel, and cancel is just cancel. In our own case, we need to check out the data quality of this. So I'll click on transform data, and that would open up the Power Query, to us. This brings us to a second page. So it's like we now have 2 pages of our Power BI. If you follow my cursor, I'm moving the cursor down here on the Power BI icon. We see this was the page we started from, the desktop page. Now that we are trying to transform the data, it's opened what we call the Power Query editor, which is what you have on top there. Now, the Power Query editor it's a very powerful tool for loading, bringing in your data, transforming it, that is making sure the data quality is good, and also to load it. So it's an ETL, extract, transform, and load tool or machine that you can use to ensure you conform your data to what it needs to be before you can do your report. Okay, so now we have our data set here. Okay, if you look at the right-hand side towards this part, you see where it says query settings. Under there, you see properties. Then it gives you the name of the data. Okay, it just says database 1. That is not informative enough. So I'm going to call it road accident data. Okay, that gives us more insight into the type of data that it could mean. Okay, so that has been changed, and you can see the name actually changed on the query itself. Queries within Power Query, your query is also your table. Okay, so it's the same thing we are talking about. We can leave requirement as requirement because that's what it is. Now, under that, we have applied steps. Now, within Power Query, we don't have the undo button. Okay, so if you have done a step and you want to remove it, we don't have the usual undo that you would normally have. But because your steps, each step you do is recorded under applied steps. Okay, so you can easily come here and delete a step that you don't think that you need anymore. So every step, every function that we perform here, every task that we perform here is going to be recorded under the apply step. Now, let's look at what this means. It says source. The source is how we brought it in. If I click on that side plug wheel, it just gives us the path where this is in within my folders. Okay, it gives us, okay, that is it's in my C drive within the OneDrive documents. Under documents, that's where the road accident task is. If I change the location of this document, if I decide to move it from documents to desktop, I must come here and change that, because then Power Query or Power BI would not be able to locate it anymore. Okay, so I must come to this source and notify it here that, okay, it's no longer in document, it's now in desktop. Also, if I change the name of the document, I must come here and change it. If not, it would just be displaying error. It wouldn't work. Okay, and it's telling us here that the file has been opened as an Excel workbook. Okay, so that's the meaning of that first step. Okay, and if I click on the side, not on the clock, we're just on the side. If we look into the formula bar here, again, it just tells us that this is an Excel workbook, and it gives us the path of the Excel workbook. Okay, now this formula bar is using what we call the M query, which we don't need to disturb our brains or our head about. The computer or Power BI just automatically writes this for us. Okay, so it's like it writes the code for you. You don't need to disturb yourself with it. And then the next step, it says navigation. Okay, I click on that and it brings us this table. If I click on the clog wheel, it will bring us to, you know, when I was picking which table I needed. Okay, this is exactly what navigation is. It just tells us that this was the one that we picked. You can see that's the one it's highlighted there. Okay, and then it then went straight for change type. Immediately it loaded it started changing. It tries to sense what type of data have we loaded, and it's automatically changed the type for us. If I go back to navigation, okay, when I went back to navigation, if you look at the data types here, ABC123, 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 okay? So at this point, it's not yet detected what type of data sets or data, what type of data this column is. For example, in here, it can see numbers, some letters, so it's quite confused. That's why it's putting ABC and 123 together there for each one, you know, of these columns. If I scroll right, that's what it's done for all of them. Okay, but after loading, it then detected that, okay, actually, this can be a text. It changed it to a text. If I click on the side here, okay, actually, let me delete that. Let me delete this change type, okay, and we will return to our ABC123, ABC123. Now, we know this is a text field. So I'm going to go into this corner here where we have the ABC123 and choose text, okay? Also, this is a date field. So we can come on here and choose dates. So all the different data type. So this is 2021, 2022. That's whole number. I can choose whole number for that. Okay. January. So this is text as well. Now, data type, getting the data type right is an important, very important part of your work, because that is how whichever tool you are using, even if you're working within Excel or any other tool, it's important that you let it have the right data type so that it's interpreting your data properly for you. Okay. If it's seeing date as text, there is no way it will understand that, okay, I should arrange this as January, February, March, April, May. Okay, it will just go and arrange it maybe just in alphabetical order, so to say. That's not really the most correct way to explain it to you, but yes, that's what I mean. Okay, if it's seeing number as number, anytime you are performing a mathematical function on your number, then it would definitely see it well. Now, latitude would be, this is an interesting one. Use, I think I'll leave these. Not sure that that's the right thing. If I leave this for now as, no, it's not decimal number. I was going to say decimal number, but it's latitude. It's got to do with location within the map. It's not date, time zone. It's not duration. Let me see if I can find something here. If not, I'll just leave it as number for now. Okay, let me quickly ask. When I get to a point where I'm confused, I'm quickly asking any of the AI tools. Normally, I use ChatGPT to quickly get what should I be, what data type should my latitude be? Something tells me I should leave it as decimal number for now. Let's leave it as decimal number for now. And then we'll load it and indicate within Power BI that it is latitude and longitude. Okay. This is text. Remember that Power BI or Power Query did this for us automatically. I'm just doing it manually for us to see. For those of us who didn't know how, who wouldn't have known how to change that, for us to see how to change that. Okay. So again, decimal number. Now, number of casualties, talking about human beings. So we don't have half human beings. So this will be whole number. Number of vehicles, again, we don't have half vehicle. So that will be whole number as well. Police would be text. This will be text as well. Chances are that you won't be needing to do, except sometimes the Power Query makes a mistake and doesn't pick the right data type that you probably want, except for that sort of time. Let me put the speed limit here. Actually, that's whole number. Every speed limit is always whole number as well. Now we have, this was time. So I'm just gonna put this as only time. The time that the accident happened. This is text. Weather condition is text. And vehicle type should be the last one there. And that is also text. Okay. So that is how we change. I think we are going to load this, not because we finished work, but because of the time. I hope we haven't used other classes' time. I don't think I had anyone coming anyway. Okay. So because of time, we're going to stop there for today. Okay. I'm hoping I'm going to resend this particular one to the data team. Okay. I'm hoping that we will at least also load and get it to these points, and then we can, keep following each other. like that. There is more that I want to explain within the Power Query setting. Again, just for to refresh our memories and to probably pick more new knowledge, as well. Okay, so, but that is where we are going to stop today. I'll close and apply this, not because we finished, but because we need to name it so that we don't lose the work done so far. Okay. And yes, God willing, we'll continue tomorrow from there. Come on, come on, come on. You're taking a long time.
Thank you very much, sis.
You are very welcome, sis. Do we have any question at all up to this point? Any question? Anything you want me to touch on in class tomorrow? Oh, can't believe it's this dark now. Lord, I can't see well here. Accident. Task is what I'll put here. Task RBI. Okay. That should do it. All right, so that is saved now. We should be fine. Where is the... If there are no questions, I'm going to stop recording.